Hi Aries, welcome to She-ruhz Tarot. Today's read is a general read for the collective of Aries. That means anybody that has Aries anywhere in their chart, this message is meant for you. May not be your message, might be a message for the person sitting next to you that has Aries in their chart, but this message is truly intended to get to those that are taking the time out, such as yourself, to observe this tarot read. This is the month of March 2022 read. We want to find out what March has in store for you, what spring will be springing upon you, and what Ostara, the goddess, has to bring forward. As you can see, we already have the main tarot down. We're going to do clarification here in a moment, and then we'll get our guidance and how to address your month, or give you an overall idea of how to address your month of March. If you wish to take that in or disregard it, it's up to you. The way to be able to know that if this or is not your message, since the first week of March has pretty well passed, this is the first week of March, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. So with the first week, you should have already experienced, although some of you may still be getting ready to experience the first week, but here we are nearly through the first week of March. So if this has occurred, then you can definitely have the definer there. For all those that have not experienced it yet, and this is technically your read, but it has yet to come because the week is not over as of yet. Please take note of the read, favorites, journal it, whatever, so you can go back and look at it. If you do not feel comfortable with this being your read, I definitely encourage you to go observe your other natal chart zodiacs, and please allow your intuition to guide you towards the most important read. And remember that there can always be more than one message intended for you. All right, before we begin, I would like to ask Spirit to come forward and assist Aries in opening their eyes to see, ears to hear, heart to feel, and intuition to discern the message that is coming through to them. We're going to do a quick overview, then we'll get to the clarification, like I said, and get to the meat of the story, the guidance. So what we have up here for the overall energy is the Ace of Pentacles, wanting to build on that foundation and start heading towards your Ten of Pentacles, something nice and stable. That's the overall energy. For the first week, we have the Knight of Swords, moving swiftly forward, maybe speaking some harsh truth. I keep hearing zipping around. Can't really say the Knight of Swords is zipping around with unintended goals in mind. He knows where he's going, but he, shoots out just as fast. He's like a hurricane. He comes flying in and then he runs back out after he accomplishes his task. Most times that task is to speak our truth, to cut away and sever what is not fitting, and then run back out. We're doing the Queen's and the King's dirty work, cutting away what doesn't fit, cutting away what's not good. Or we can just be moving very swiftly forward towards something. But there's a lot of truth in it, whatever that may be. And it may be very harsh truth, because the Knight of Swords is not exactly the most kind when he speaks his words. So for the second week, we have the Four of Wands, which is, stability, support. It could be marriage, a definite stable relationship, stable home, and can be very much so celebrating that. For the third week, we have the Seven of Wands in reverse. We're giving up. We don't care to fight. We're throwing in the sticks. But as you can see here, in the Seven of Wands, it's a little bit different because this is the before tarot. And with the before tarot, before we're standing our ground, before we're taking a fight, we're seeking solace first. But that's not the case in this. You're just avoiding it altogether. And then we have the fourth week, which is the Five of Pentacles. We're headed towards feeling pushed out, being unwanted, left out in the cold. We have a lone puppy dog sitting there, while standing there looking at the window, looking at the light in the window. Right. The bottom of the deck, I took note of this earlier. We have the Three of Pentacles, the Five of Wands, and the Sun. Definitely wanting to figure out how to make things work so that you can have your happiness and begin a new cycle, the world. But needing to take some time, get your thoughts straight, so you can then find that balance. Okay, well, let's do some clarification here and see about this Ace of Pentacles first here. Please clarify this Ace of Pentacles for Aries, overall energy. Honestly, that's really pretty clear, but I want to get a little more fine-tune of, well, I don't think we're going to get very fine-tuned. Eight of Swords. Having a hard time figuring out which direction to go in order to be successful in that. Queen of Pentacles. There's that Ace of Pentacles and being very cautious. So being very cautious about each movement you're taking to move forward. But you just don't know which direction to go to do that. So we're not going to be able to fine-tune it very much. It's just going to leave it at that. Alright, so please clarify the Knight of Swords, first week, March 2022. Page of Cups can be somebody younger than you, somebody emotional, maybe a little too emotional. They don't have a grip on their emotions. But, you know, there's some need to reflect upon a situation, open up your heart and not be closed-minded or closed-hearted. And allow your intuition to guide you. Be very confident when this tower comes. There's going to be a tower that's come. That's what moving swiftly towards, and you're using your intuition to get you through this tower that's going to be coming or has came in the first week. Something that came very suddenly, and trying to be very confident. And you're trying to hold on to your happily ever after, your Ten of Cups. And reflecting on how to be able to do that. But there were some harsh words that came in. And it's not necessarily a fight or a dispute, although we did have the Five of Wands here. But it's just that tower is gonna come, or has came for some of you. And it's a time to reflect upon that, reflect upon the truth. Please clarify the Four of Wands for the second week of March 2022, please. Please clarify Four of Wands. Oh boy. Okay. That's how it fell. We have Death in the upright. Then we have the Ten of Wands in reverse and the Queen of Swords in reverse. So we're letting go of somebody that is pretty snipey, so that you can heal So bringing an end to possibly a relationship, marriage, or commitment of some sort. The stability is coming to an end, and it may be resurrecting in the second week. However, releasing and letting go, possibly of an individual that is, cutting them out of your life because they tell lies. They're pretty vicious, sharp-tongued, too sharp-tongued, and they're not fair. They're not, they're borderline narcissists to where it's all about them, and there's lies there. There's, no matter what you do, you try to point out facts, and they turn around and say, not so, you are the one that did it, that kind of situation. So that became a very heavy burden that weighed on you, and you're letting go of that and then working on healing, bringing that to a dead and celebrating that. So that's what that tower would be. Okay. A realization that's came forward, and you need to be confident and strong in that. Okay, so please clarify these Seven of Wands in reverse, third week of March for 2022 for Aries, please. Please clarify these Seven of Wands for Aries, March 2022. What does it have in store for them? Thank you. Definitely an understanding, a deep understanding of how to have an exciting new beginning and head towards what you were supposed to head towards. Making a decision about this partner that you believe to be a very deep connection, possibly your twin or a soul bond. You've watched him and realized, maybe the insecurity was too much for him. So you're holding tight to, your strength, your own will to get through it. That understanding that it's a dawning, is it the light bulb moment, so to speak? You're done. You've realized you're done with this. All right, please clarify the Five of Pentacles, fourth week of March for Aries. Well, that one rode my thumb out. So focusing on things that you want to go after and going after them. Your Two of Cups, and not always is your Two of Cups a relationship. It can be, because earlier you had the Eight of Cups of walking away and leaving history behind. That did show its face in here. So we have the Two of Cups adding to that, obviously. So that brings it forth to the Ten of Cups, which is, you're happily ever after, and you're focusing on how to attain that. And mind you, the King of Wands is you as well, feeling, put out, feeling unwanted, dejected. And so you're going to head towards doing what's right. Create a new life. Find something new and exciting. Well, I like that. Let's see about some guidance for you here, Aries? Some guidance, how to attain that, how to step on that path without being misdirected. Eight of Wands. Rip the band-aid off and move forward. Make that decision to move forward. Rip the band-aid off so that you can then work on building on that foundation. The towers came to your wish fulfillments, making you feel pretty beat down, needing to take some time to think about what you were headed towards, and stress you out on how to accomplish it. But you recognize that that other individual you've been dealing with is celebrating their own inner being, their own emotional and financial stability, leaving you to your own. So rip the band-aid off and move quickly so you can then head towards building that. And that's how you step into figuring out which direction to go. All right, Aries. It's a pretty harsh read, but it's definitely some very strong guidance slash advice for you. And again, please remember, take this message in how you will, and it's completely up to you whether or not you choose to take the message in or disregard it. But please also remember to verify, to recognize whether or not this is or is not your message. Situations should be similar or quite similar, as I had said earlier, in regards to that tower coming and you recognizing it. All right, so as far as the energies that are in the read here, the major arcanas, we have Taurus down, Scorpio, and that's it as far as the major arcanas go. So not very many major arcanas in here. Definitely some decisions that need to be made. All right, Aries. We'll find out what your next week's read is of what is headed towards you, which would be the second week. Of course, we'd actually be heading into the third week, but what's headed towards you is your next read. So I'll do my best to attempt to get the reads out a little bit faster so we can kind of get a jump on it. Unfortunately, my schedule does not coincide with the calendar days, but I am definitely struggling to bump it up a little bit earlier each time. All right, Aries, until next week, I look forward to your read to find out what's headed towards you. And until then, may all your choices and decisions be very blessed.